Good evening to all of you. Mr. Dinesh Ishwaran, new elected president of the Tea Exporters Association and outgoing president of the Tea Exporters Association, and also Mr. Niraj Rimel, newly appointed chairman of the Tea Board, and Mr. Harsha Ilukpiti, he was the additional secretary to the Ministry of Ours. Now he is the Controller General of Immigration, and Mr. Jayanta Karunaratne, and also other distinguished invitees and my dear friends. So let me at the outset thank the ex-chairman and also the organizing committee of this wonderful event for inviting me to come here and to participate. So I consider it's a deep honor. So and the physical meeting has become possible after 2 years. It's because the pandemic enveloped the whole world. But I vividly remember attending to the CTTA physical meeting last year and also the meeting of the Tea Factory Owners Association, which was followed by the felicitation ceremony organized by the CTTA to felicitate people who had supported to launch much awaited e-auction in this country. So during those 2 years, I was the Minister of Plantation. It wasn't the best of time to head this particular area, but as I always say, like the silver lining or the dark cloud, the Sri Lankan tea growers, factory owners, brokers, and the exporters have done their bit to ensure that the Sri Lankan tea, much valued solitary export product of the country, Ceylon tea, remains at a higher level. So on behalf of the Plantation Minister, I thank all of you, having contributed wonderfully well to ensure that we don't go down further. You retain the momentum in relation to our markets and also ensure that you provide those services at different levels to retain the Ceylon tea brand name all around the world. So more importantly, during recent times, I must mention the fact that because of the erroneous policy decision, the tea cultivation had to suffer. So I don't wish to dwell too much on that particular subject, but we were trying to maintain, even though we had lesser fertilizer in this country, we were trying to mitigate those by different means, but things are getting back to normalcy gradually. But once you critically evaluate the situation during last 10 years, it's not only fertilizer, it's a multitude of factors that had affected badly to the Sri Lankan tea industry. So our tea production was highest in 2013, and we recorded a highest production of about 340 million kilos, if I'm not mistaken. But during last 10 years, decade or so, it was gradually coming down and staying at a level of about average of about 300 million kilos. Last year, we recorded 299 million kilos, and we had lesser fertilizer than in 2020. 2020, we had fertilizer, but at that year, we got only 279 million kilos, 20 million kilos lesser than 2021. Why it was so? It was because of the fact that Sri Lankan tea was badly affected by the drought. So that is one factor. So we'll keep our fingers crossed now with your support and also with the support of the other organizations. We are getting fertilizer bit by bit. Hopefully by next Maha season, with the assistance of the World Bank, we'll get another 150,000 metric tons of fertilizer to this country. We got 65,000 metric tons a few months ago, out of which we provided 15,000 metric tons to the tea industry. So that was distributed to the growers. And also with the support of the TRI, we introduced sulfate of ammonia, which was a decent nitrogen supplement to the plantation. But we know most of the farmers did not want to use those at that price. It was coming at 18,000 rupees for 50 kg bag. Hopefully, we will provide this fertilizer, which is the main critical point in relation to the production in Sri Lanka. So we should be able to provide fertilizer, urea-based fertilizer, for a lesser price when we get the next tender awarded, probably within 3 months' time down the line. And also we have been working with the Tea Exporters Association to ensure that they utilize their export earnings to ensure that they also import certain fertilizer. So they can import fertilizer. Hopefully you should be able to do that. We have given the permission, we have taken the cabinet decision to ensure that you get that permission to import fertilizer, and also you mix it with the help of the commercial fertilizer and provide the fertilizer mixture to the farmers. And also we have lifted the ban for glyphosate importation. So it was historically, it was through the Ceylon Petroleum Corporation, they have imported and distributed. So we should be able to provide that also in time to come. So those two are the main and critical factors in relation to the production of tea industry in Sri Lanka. But other factors, now as the government, with the help of the Tea Exporters Association and also other stakeholders, we managed to, with the help of the tea board, we started 1,000 nursery program in this country. I think more than 750 nurseries became a success. So with the help of the Tea Smallholders Authority, we are buying back good quality planting material. We were supporting different irrigation schemes, government subsidized. We spent significant sum of money last year to provide irrigation to the fields. And also we have other mechanisms. So today, this morning also, we went to Ratnapura TRI to ensure we launched the mobile lab. And we spent some money to ensure that we maintain the quality standards, so maintain the soil quality of ours, which has been deteriorating over a period of time. So we want to ensure that we provide proper nutrition, and also we maintain our soil to ensure that we retain the soil quality and get the best production out of it. But historically, our production, so we have produced the highest quantity in Sri Lanka in 1930s. So in subsequent years, China, India and Kenya, those countries have overtaken us. So we are the 4th place in relation to the production quantity. But considering the land mass and also the quality of the soil, we might not be able to compete with them quantity-wise. But surely, Ceylon tea remains as the best quality tea in the world. Today, we get a much higher value than Kenyan and the Indian tea. Fortunately, you have trickled down that effect to the farmers at the ground level. So that's a more important factor. Directly 2 million people of this country are dependent on the tea cultivation, so they're getting a much better price than yesteryears. So in 2019, when I assumed duties as the Minister of Plantation, our people in Gold District and Matra, they got about 85 to 90 rupees per their green leaf per kg. Now they're getting about 250 to 300. Thanks to you, it's much more than the depreciation of the rupee value actually. So in certain areas, some of the factories have paid nearly 400 rupees. So it's a remarkable higher price. That's the record price that Sri Lanka tea and industry has ever seen. So they can't anymore complain about the cost. Now they should be able to provide the much needed fertilizer to their cultivations. So that's the message we wanted to pass down to the people. So with the help of the TRI and so with the help of the TSHT, we have launched this ambitious campaign to ensure that they get back to the fields and look after their fields. So by doing that only, we should be able to further strengthen our productions. But we looked at the values actually by end July this year. Even though the production was lesser than 2021, we recorded about 28 million kilos lesser than 2021. Our export income hasn't gone down yet. We got about $695 million by end July. And good thing about this, the turbulent time was that not only the tea sector, you stabilized yourselves and did wonderfully well, but also the other plantation sectors had fared reasonably well. So we recorded the highest income from the plantation sector in 2021. We got $3.8 billion. We hope the rubber sector touched $1 billion, and our coconut sector got $890 million last year, and cinnamon and other export crops also fared reasonably well. So we expect to reach the same level, but unfortunately, global recession has a direct impact on our exports as well, but hopefully things will come back normalcy. Every time historically, when world saw a recession, after the following years had seen significant growth patterns. So we keep our fingers crossed. Hopefully, your issues, we discussed different issues at different levels. I know you came out with a list of things. So one by one, we will address. So it's good that I have to deal with you for some more years. We have a new chairman who is quite versatile in this subject. So the tea exporters also came and made representations. So we appointed him. So we have a new chairman, You have a new president of the country. You have a new prime minister, a new tea board chairman, new state minister, new secretary. Some of you might want to see a new minister as well. But unfortunately, you have to tolerate me for a little longer time. So during that period of time, we'll get together and do whatever possible to enhance the Sri Lankan tea production and its market values. Thank you very much. Have a pleasant evening.